would now like to invite our special guest, Professor Dhruba Kumar Gautam ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Midwest University, Nepal, to address us, and he'll be joining us online.
Hello, good evening from Kathmandu, Nepal. Is it audible? Thank you very much. Yeah, this sixth HHRS International Conference on the topic of geopolitical and strategic significance of Bharat. Very inviting to me to share my few thoughts and ideas on these issues. Thanks once again for organizers. Without any delay, I just would like to share a few things. First and very important topic that I raised many times is the word Bharat, which has been used here, is a fantastic that cover the surrounding of the India. As we even get a ownership in the word of the Bharat, Bharat Varshi. But when this word is not used, then the surrounding countries, neighboring countries of the Bharat may feel that there is no ownership to them. So while using the word, obviously the word that catches to the heart of the all peoples that should be and better used. So thanks once again for such a wonderful the title as the strategic significance of the Bharat, surroundings Bharat areas in these Indian Ocean regions. As few words that I would like to highlight here is currently, as in the world situation, is going to be in the transition. The transition in the sense that from the single polar to the bipolar to now it is going to be the multipolar situations. So during the time of the multipolar situations, obviously the many crooks and the difficulties may raise, but at this time, this region of Bharat Barshe areas, especially the Indian Ocean regions, should have to be catch up these transitions and go the leapfrog from these situations. So this is the time to unite and of course build these regions as one of the strong polar in the world scenario. And these situations, what I feel is that personally, as the global institutions that we many times call in the world is normally the UN or WTO or similar to the others, these global institutions are also in the crisis. They are what the purpose they have developed during the time of the establishments are not able to cater and accelerate to the work. Therefore, the global institutional crisis is emerging. No one, the polar or the institutions or the such a bodies here that has to be managed and control the nonsense and nouns of the situations that is going to be happen from one country to the another country or one issues to the another issues. At these situations, why these situations has been even emerged, one of the unstable situations in these Indian Ocean region is political instability, especially to the some countries like the Nepal, even in the case of the Bangladesh, or we see at Afghanistan and similar others, instability, and not only the political instability, but the stagnant of the ideas. No such ideas that has been collectively accepted by all because of divide and rules or divided in terms of the religion or in terms of the poverty or in terms of the development and undevelopment like these. Therefore, because of these stagnant situations and know the outcome of such ideas that lead to the world, what happened is that the Gen Z and similar type of the movement is emerged, as in the case of the Bangladesh, even in the case of the Nepal, and we see even the many other countries, such a youths. The youths are really the transformative power they possess. These power may not get to ventilate anywhere because of no idea and stagnant politics. Therefore, the ideology has to be developed. The ideology or sociological ideology or capitalistic ideology, I'm not arguing this and that, but the ideology of these regions should be the similar that hold to all and unite to all. Sometime, in order to teach to our students or the newcomers in this region, what we are practicing is that just copy and paste from the Western society's ideology and ideas. Even our ancient ideas, our knowledge, and our stone philosophies, our philosophy generated by these regions are not going to be taught well into the classroom. But what we are practicing since the long is because of the education system that borrowed from the Western society. We are practicing the Western society educations. I know in 2020, the India has been changed the education policy, as a higher education policy, but in 2020 is just the 4 years, and how much it has been executed, that is the different things. To the classroom or the universities that deteriorate the realities of our society, our cultures, our peoples, our surroundings, our philosophy, and our the knowledge that was developed by our ancestors at that time. At some time, we even used the Eastern philosophy, but I do not prefer more the word is Eastern philosophy. Normally, I use the word as these Bharat Barshe area philosophy or surroundings philosophy, either from the Himalayan range to the peninsula of these regions. Rather than when we talk in the Eastern philosophy, obviously some other countries and philosophies are there beyond these regions, and we have to be assimilate their philosophy and ideas also. Therefore, our philosophy, our knowledge, and our practices are deteriorated and borrowed from the Westerns and learned by the new generators. Therefore, sometimes we see that the culture, the practice, the practice and rituals, everything that are going to be deteriorated. This is because of the education systems first. And these, as the regional connectivity is also needed to unite, to build, to share the exchange in ideas. As currently at this in this forum, we are also discussing and sharing the different ideas, different practice, and the complexities that we are bearing in our regions, in our places. Similar type of the practices that become built up and make such a practice which has to be connected not only into the regional connectivity of the idea, but the regional connections of the roots, networks, and the flow of the peoples. In order to flow the peoples, obviously the rules that has to be guided, the philosophy development or ruin and challenge to the philosophy and ideas in these regions. At some time we see in the practice in coming years is that some of the countries in the neighboring, if not for being a good neighbor, it becomes the more and more challenges to the other countries. Exactly as what we see in the case is that even in the when I have to use the word as the Ukraine, similarly we see in the nearly the 10, 12 years earlier Afghanistan. Even it is a debatable question, but what happened is that because of the country have been emotionally attached and jump from one to another centers, what happened? What happened is that the surroundings and whole the places or that regions become affected even in the armed conflict or ideological conflict or even the war happen between the nations or and even in some time it can be in the among the nations. So why this situation have been happen? The happen is because of the leadership the people emerge in the country within the 10, 20 or 100 years that should be the control by the peoples. For these, the philosophy and idea of such a region should be bloomed first. Then such type of the persons become discouraged. No chances to emerge such a people that create a problem and violence. we are the peoples from Nepal. We face such type of the violence between the peoples of the single nations in the earlier days. Therefore, this happened because of some time the uneven economic development of the regions. So not only the development of the one country or the economically sustainability or enhancements of the prosperity of the one country may not be the always the good practices and symbol to the other surrounding neighboring countries also. It has to be positively impact. It has to be positively lead. It has to be positively impact to the other countries. Then only it becomes the sustainable development in the region. Therefore, the uneven economic development should make us more or less the even in such regions that has to be initiated by these as the Bharat and Bharat peoples who have been surrounded in these areas. And of course, the current challenges in even the human security challenges, border challenges, these are also the common themes which we have to be collectively solve these issues. Thank you very much for inviting to me. I'm not talking more about the marine and the ocean areas. It's from the landlocked countries, my areas are more as even in these issues. Thank you for inviting once again. Thank you very much.